What is the hardest part of love relationship? Is it truly falling in love or knowing when to leave? Of course, if necessary. It's me, Iryna Wood, and my show, What Everybody Wants to Know. And today the topic is staying way too long. What's your name?
Josie.
Josie, are you in a relationship?
Who's asking?
A married woman, happily married woman, that matters.
Not married at all. I have 4 in the building.
And tell me, please, have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you stayed way too long?
Duh. That's why I have 4 boyfriends now.
You have 4 boyfriends?
Exactly.
When you stay too long with the same person, you think it's a commitment or it's endurance?
Endurance.
Hi, what's your name?
Terrell.
Malin.
Tell me, please, are you in a relationship?
Yes, I am married for the second time. Yes.
How long did the first marriage last?
I was married for 11 years. The first
And
time.
do you feel like it was a commitment for love, or you always stayed and love was over by that time?
Are we being like fully honest? No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm kidding.
I think when you're in your 20s, I think you feel like your motherly kind of clock is ticking. And so I think you find a guy where you're like, oh, he's nice and cute. Cute. And his family's fine. And he might be a good dad and he's, fine. So I think you tend to settle a little bit. And then, when you're in your 40s, you absolutely are just like, I know exactly what I want. I know who I am and I'm not going to settle. So I think when you're in your 20s, you definitely settle a little bit.
I'm the worst. I understand it very well. My first marriage was, oh my God.
Yeah.
And now when I was remarried, it was consciously.
Oh, yeah.
Not out of fear or being scared to be alone.
Yes.
Whatever people will think about me. I'm 23, not married yet.
Yes.
Now I got married like it was a couple of years ago. I'm 38 right now. And I felt like I'm doing it, with the one I choose really, and he's choosing me.
Yeah,
That
very
matters.
intentional.
Absolutely.
Very intentional.
And what karmic lesson, if I could say, have you learned from your first marriage?
I'm hoping that I'm kind of teaching her also when she's in relationships is not to settle, because there were things in the relationship that were flags to me that ended up kind of being the end of the relationship, and I just overlooked them, or I was like, oh, maybe he'll change, or just a little thing that would drive me crazy is he would drive really fast in the car. I absolutely hated it, and it scared me to death. And we actually got into a fight on our honeymoon because he was driving like a maniac. And he did that when we were dating. And I wish I would have picked up on those little things while we were dating. And it would have never, I'm glad I did because I have my beautiful children and it all worked out. But I think when you see a red flag,
Hey, red flag, everybody.
it's going to be a red flag forever.
The witness of the very first love, please tell me, you observed your mother into marriages. So what's the difference? And what is the young generation relationship advice?
I would say there is definitely a difference, but I think my stepdad is wonderful. Man, my dad's wonderful too, both of them. But there's definitely just a difference in the compatibility of them and the way that they are really, really close. Like they're more of best friends. I feel like now.
Yeah.
Compared to her and my dad. So there's just a different dynamic. But for me, I don't know. I block people. I don't have time to deal with stuff.
How to stay friends after the divorce? Another question.
I was actually very nice in the divorce. I knew there were some things that if I went after that we would never have a relationship for the sake of the children. And so I think I always was thinking of the kids first, and having a relationship with their dad for the sake of them was more important than money.
More important than money? Who is this?
Or anything like that. So when I was making decisions about, splitting assets and things like that, I knew there were some things that if I went after that he would never have a relationship with me and it would affect them. And so every decision I made was that thinking of them and the future of our relationship as co-parents.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Victor.
Tell me, are you in a relationship?
My wife is amazing. She's a nurse.
She's a nurse. She loves this stuff.
And now we have a little baby, 1 year baby. She completely, the last week, and she very strong, cause not easy create a kid.
It's 24/7 job, huh?
Yeah.
With one-way ticket.
Yeah. I'm very happy because she's very good for me and for our family, and I'm very thankful for have like her in my life.
I have to tell you, I wish everybody had a chance to answer the same way, to be
Yeah.
blessed to meet your destiny, to be blessed to be happy in a relationship. And I wish you many more kids and beautiful moments together.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, that was a fascinating answer, and I wish everybody had the same one. Hi, what's your name?
Carolyn.
Tell me, please, have you ever been in your life in a relationship when you feel like you truly overstayed for a long time?
I do. I was married very young. I was 21 when I got married to my high school sweetheart, and the relationship ended up not being the greatest. And I would say my biggest takeaway is to just take the time to find who you really are, what you really want,
That's what you really want.
and also finding a partner that you don't need to change for, maybe make sacrifices for, but your worlds kind of intertwine and your personalities intertwine. So yeah, definitely sacrifice and stay committed. But I think people know when there's the time to go.
If you had a chance to use the space machine and come back to the previous time and do something differently, what would it be?
Honestly, people always ask, would you do it over? Would you, make the same choice? I really wouldn't change anything. Like, I have no regrets. I feel like very happy with how things turned out. And I think we're all on our own path. And I'm just grateful for the experience. And I wish nothing but the best, for everyone in my past. And yeah, no regrets. No, wouldn't change anything. That's how you learn.
Want to learn how to love yourself and build up healthy relationships with yourself and others? Download Gemini Near Me. It's your one-stop shop for all self-discovery tools with access to the community of like-minded individuals.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Sean.
Tell me, please, have you ever in your life stayed in a relationship when you felt like you're actually done, but for some reason you're still keeping them?
Yes, I have. When I was younger, I stayed in a relationship far too long. And I stayed because I was so in love, at least I thought I was. And you know what I learned from it is that I got to love myself first. So now that I'm older, it's all about me now.
And I think this is the only way to do it, because you have to know yourself, because otherwise you're not able to build up healthy relationship. You're aligned to yourself and the other people.
Yes.
But what kind of lesson did you learn you think that you're forever staying with you besides self-love?
Besides, self-love is the best love.
It's the best love.
First of all, there's nothing like it. But the lesson I did learn from it is don't stay longer than you need to. If you see that there's a problem, listen to yourself and follow your heart, ladies. Seriously. If you don't put yourself first, no one else will. And it has to be all about you.
And do you believe that societal norms give us a lot of pressure?
Yeah, society definitely plays a big part on people, especially younger people, when they don't know who they are. But the moment you find out who you are, you'll change the world. I'm serious, you really will.
You know what I'm curious about as a relationship expert and book writer on those topics? If people are actually scared to lose a relationship, or they are scared to lose a version of themselves they created through this relationship. Hi, what's your name?
Izzy.
Tell me, please, have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you truly overstayed?
Yes, I have been in a relationship where I felt like I was overstayed, and I truly think that's not good for your mental health. I learned that the hard way. Never stay in a relationship where the person's mentally draining you. You already know, like, that's not your person. Your person should be uplifting you, and this is a person that you want to be with every day, not someone where they're mentally bringing you down. And it's just your sign, like, sometimes you just have to let that person go.
But why do you think people stay in a relationship when they are not happy? It's a strong belief in love and the other person, commitment, or maybe it's anxiety to be alone?
I would say for the most part, especially for me, is that the hope of seeing good in the other person. When someone like me has like so much empathy, we want to see that person change. We're with them for a reason because we love them so much.
We love them so
much.
And we truly do see the good in them, so we want them to change. We have so much hope for them, but that's just my personal experience, so it could be different for a lot of other people.
Hi, what's your name?
Jazz.
Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you truly overstayed?
Yes.
And what made you be stuck there?
I felt like he was the only person I connected with that deeply at the time. So I didn't want to leave that because that was what I was familiar with. And I loved him, and I knew that if I left, like, it would hurt me. But then I realized that it was affecting my mental health, and that if I kept staying, that I was just going to keep getting worse and worse.
It just keeps getting worse and worse, you know?
If you had a chance to come back to the past, would you do anything differently?
I definitely would have left the relationship earlier than what I did.
And if you could picture yourself further being like adult, like in 20, 30 years, there is any piece of advice you would give yourself now?
If I'm ever feeling like that again, and it goes on for like a certain amount of time, to definitely put my feelings like for that person aside and consider my feelings more in that moment, so that I don't end up ruining my mental health like I did before, because it impacted my life a lot.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Mike.
Mike, tell me please, do you think that love should be easy or complex?
Complex.
Complex, with a lot of emotions?
Yeah, because if it's easy, then you don't really know what the other person thinking for real.
That's an interesting way to
Because they're
say.
probably hiding stuff to make it look easy. Like,
And do you believe that at the beginning that sometimes people can show all their bad sides on purpose? So make sure that this person will stay for you no matter what.
depending on what their intentions is.
And you feel like you're a person of a long-term relationship in general?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever had that experience that you felt like you're done, but you didn't like end up relationship?
I was done by the end of the relationship.
Like you felt like it's over, but you're still there because maybe you don't want to ruin it, or you're scared of separation, you don't want to be alone.
No, I never stayed that. Nah.
You felt like it's over and you
Yeah,
just
it's
don't.
over, just go. Yeah, because if you stay, you staying for the wrong reasons, or you just really don't want to. You're attached to the person, so I'm gonna.
But how do you find this inner power just to end it up, not hurt the partner and
I mean,
yourself?
it depends on the type of person you are. Like, if you care about that person's feelings for real, you're not gonna like what's the word? Want to hurt their feelings for real. So you would stay and not say how you feel. But if in that moment you feel like you want to leave, you just leave. Shouldn't hold that person back from finding their true love or something.
At least you're saving their and your own time, so you're not a liar.
You're not a liar.
Not to themselves, not to yourself.
Exactly.
Hello, what's your name?
I'm Savina.
Tell me, please, have you ever stayed in a relationship which actually was emotionally, mentally, from any kinds of connection over, but you still felt like staying for some reason?
It's kind of I think I stayed out of loyalty to the person that I was with, even though I wasn't getting anything out of the relationship. It did drain me a lot, but I think, I don't know, I think you end up kind of staying with the person thinking that they're going to get better and, you know, he's going to change, but they end up never changing. And then, yeah, I don't know. That's my...
But don't you think that sometimes people are staying in a relationship because it looks familiar, at least?
Exactly.
Even if you're
So it's
hurt,
like
but you know what you get.
safe,
Yeah.
And it feels familiar. Exactly.
Unconsciously.
Yeah. 100%. I agree.
I agree. 100%.
And what would be kind of advice to your own self if you had a chance to come back there? What wouldn't you do?
I would say there's always better people out there. I think there are many fish in the sea, and everyone says this after, you know, as like advice to someone after a breakup. But when I was going through the depths of the breakup, I was like, I'm never going to find someone like him again. And then I found better people, and you move on and you realize that the world is very big and you will always get over someone. There is always your person out there, and I think you'll find them if you just look.
Almost 60 or 70% of people I have interviewed today told me that they sincerely overstayed in their relationship. And the reason was not love or commitment. It was fear, concerns, anxiety, fear of facing the loneliness as well, and zero understanding how they're gonna live afterwards. So, what's the conclusion? Learn to love yourself and trust the process, because only when you have built up a true, genuine, sincere relationship with yourself, you are ready to meet the destiny and build up a healthy relationship with somebody else. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share it with your friend, and download my self-confidence and self-love app, Gemini Near Me app that is always there for you, as your Mr. or Mrs. Destiny should be.